Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen. This is Chris Irving from Kratom Kingdom. Today we're going to be talking about drugs. Is kratom a drug? And to do that, we're going to have a little quiet interview with my drug dealer. So it's going to be a little bit different talking to my drug dealer, but we're going to... Here we go, walking down my hallway to my drug dealer's house. And this is not my drug dealer. So here we go. Apartment at 408, this would be him. And he's got the doorbell and everything. Man, come on into my house. Yeah, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I got you hooked up. So, yeah, come on into my office and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Alright, now we're back in my happy place again, so let me go back with the intro. Hey everybody, this is Chris Irving from Kratom Kingdom in Knoxville, Tennessee, and my drug dealer doesn't want to be on camera for obvious reasons, so I'm going to talk for him basically, because I interviewed him prior. And is kratom a drug? That kind of depends on what your definition of a drug is. If your definition of a drug is mind-altering substance, then it is no more of a drug than Benadryl, or a sleeping pill, or a Tylenol, because it's not an opiate. It's technically not an opiate, because it has no opium in it at all, none. But it tricks your opiate receptors in your brain into thinking that it's an opiate, which is a big difference. There's no opiates in kratom. There's no narcotics in kratom. Kratom is a leaf off a tree. And the new statement going around right now is plants before pills. And I agree with that 100%. It can give you a state of euphoria, and it can give you more energy. It can make you more creative, but it has no real negative side effects to it, and you're not going to go out to your corner drug dealer and buy kratom from him, because it's not a drug. It's a leaf off a tree. And the same argument can be said about a magic mushroom off the ground, and there is a hot debate right now, is that a drug too? Because it is just a mushroom off the ground, and I've never taken a mushroom off the ground and eaten it before, so I'm sure some of my subscribers have, just because it's a plant. So I'm gonna say no, kratom is not a drug. It's not scheduled as a drug. The FDA has not scheduled it as a drug. As much as they're trying to, it hasn't been scheduled as a drug. And it's not prescribed by a doctor. You can buy it online. You don't have to buy it from a drug dealer like my little skit made fun of, but I was trying to be a little more creative this time, which it probably turned out to be a total flop. But it's got to be better than listening to somebody talk for 5 minutes sitting in a chair in front of a beautiful background. So in conclusion, no, kratom is not a drug. If you want to call it a drug, that's your call. But I've done drugs, and kratom isn't a drug. To be considered a drug, it's got to be a schedule on the Food and Drug Administration's list of drugs. It is slightly mood altering, just like a Benadryl. If you take a Benadryl, it's going to make you feel a little sleepy, maybe a little euphoric. If you take coffee, you drink it, it's going to stimulate you just like cocaine would. Is that a drug? No. The Food and Drug Administration has not listed coffee as a drug. So I am going to put my foot down hard and say Kratom is not a drug. If you want to argue with me about it, do so in the comments and I'll give you my best responses. But no, it's not a drug.